Let's start in the Mountain West. What are we doing here? Hawaii goes to UNLV. All right. Both of these teams, as it stands right now, have a chance to compete for this conference championship right now. Hawaii sitting at 7-3, UNLV 8-2, both 4-2 in conference. The only other teams that are 4-2, New Mexico, Boise State, Fresno State, and then of course San Diego State sitting at 5-1 in conference. Yeah, this is a huge game. By the way, UNLV is only favored by 2.5. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch Hawaii this year, okay, this is the Timmy Chang that we were promised. All right, this is the classic run and shoot that you were expecting to see. Their offenses weren't super consistent in those couple years past, even with some good wide receivers, some decent quarterback play. You see some running backs break out here or there in these last 3-4 seasons with Timmy Chang, excuse me. But now you got a team top 10 in passing yards per game with Mike Alejado balling out a quarterback. You got two stud receivers over there, including a transfer from Stanford in Jackson Harris, who is an absolute monster, especially over these last 5 games, and a defense that has been enough. You know, we saw it early in the season. We just thought, oh, maybe Stanford is that bad. Or let's turn this thing around. How good actually is Hawaii? And can they go on the road here to beat a UNLV team that has seemed pretty vulnerable to me?
Listen, it'll be tough though. The reality is this is a rivalry game, right? The ninth island trophy is on the line between UNLV and Hawaii. These two teams have a long history with each other, including playing each other in the WAC as well, if you remember that conference back in the day. So a lot of good things to talk about here. You talked about even last year too. It was different coaching staff over there in Vegas with Barry Odom, but you had Hajj Malik Williams and UNLV ranked going to the island and playing a four-quarter dogfight against the Rainbow Warriors. Braden Shager, right, was a quarterback of that Hawaii team. You talked about how good Alejado has been for them, and he's going to have to be. But this UNLV team is vulnerable defensively. Vulnerable, man. They give up a lot of yards, a lot of points. They are bottom three in all categories: scoring defense, total defense, passing defense, rushing defense. Bottom three in the Mountain West this year. It has been tough. On the flip side, though, they run the ball well. They are first in the Mountain West in running the ball, rushing yards. Dan Mullen has brought a lot of fun plays, a lot of fun schemes, and a dynamic offense. A couple quarterbacks getting involved. Of course, Calandria and Jaden Thomas leading the way. Hopefully, Jaden Thomas is healthy for our Rebels there and what he can do against, listen, an Hawaii team, which has historically, like you talked about, Timmy Chang having a fun offense, has been somewhat stingy enough in the Mountain West to become competitive, in which they have been, and they are 7-3 right now, second in the Mountain West. It's a log jam right now. How many teams are 4-2 in the Mountain West with a couple of them playing each other? And of course, UNLV Hawaii both 4-2, looking to duke it out and potentially have a chance to represent their conference in the conference title game.
Well, I want to point out some stuff for Hawaii as well. So, UNLV, you talked about their rushing attack has been phenomenal. If you kind of look at it, though, how big of an impact is Jaden Thomas, man? He is one of the most underrated, least talked about running backs in all of college football. He is a monster in the year 2025, a monster. And when you missed him last week, like you kind of saw the rushing attack slow down a little bit. Like there is a staggering difference between him and what you have behind him. And generally, when you look at rushing attacks, like you don't feel that kind of same concern a lot of the times. But I do feel a little bit more concerned with that, especially because I kind of like what Hawaii's got up front. I also like Peter Manuma, the versatile kind of hybrid player coming down, making plays in the run game. Jackie Johnson, Dejon Benton. Holy moly, has he been an absolute home run in the transfer portal? Get this player from USC, right? Who, by the way, played significant snaps at USC. Like I shouldn't say significant, like he was playing over guys, but he played like actual real college football snaps in a power conference. Transfers to New Mexico to be with Bronco Mendenhall, doesn't play because he tears his bicep, and now he is here, and he is absolutely wrecking the Mountain West, wrecking the Mountain West. If he gets involved early in this run game, generating some negative plays, and has UNLV playing from behind, I mean, that's definitely a problem. Now, I wouldn't say that this Hawaii team's necessarily built to play with a lead. That's kind of the gift that is Timmy Chang in this offense in particular. You can find ways to score lots of points, but it's kind of tough to retain those leads and milk clocks when you can't run the ball all that effectively. However, when you look at the metrics, CD, you look at the metrics and you're like, oh gosh, what a terrible rushing attack. Only, 3.6 yards per carry. But when you actually take away sacks and such, like these running backs are averaging almost 5 yards a carry, right? They're just not running the ball a lot. Like these running backs don't get more than 10, 11, 12 carries a game. So it would be interesting. I think if Hawaii needed to run the football, I think they could. I don't know if they'd be able to do it against this front, but for UNLV's side, right? Like, what are you going to do about Jackson Harris? Okay, you've given us some serious explosive plays as a secondary. Now you got an All-American in the slot, right? Amaris Brown Jr. You have him probably Umpafeli Ashlock, right? Who's going to be in that slot. That's just another stud for Hawaii for sure. But can you, in your secondary, show up in this game and cause problems for Alejado, reroute these receivers, find ways to make plays on the football, don't give up those explosive plays? Can you do that? I happen to think that they'll do enough. I think this UNLV team is a little bit more talented than Hawaii, despite me talking them up a lot. I think if Jaden Thomas doesn't play in this game, which is a possibility, I would lean towards Hawaii winning this football game. But with the assumption here tonight, I'm going to assume that Jaden Thomas is playing in this game. I'm not sure, even though I like what Hawaii's done in the front seven this year. I think I'm going to roll with the UNLV and lay the points -2.5 here. The travel too, man. The travel, it hurts, man. If you're on the island, I'm absolutely all over Hawaii in this game.
For sure. And too, the nice thing for Hawaii is they're off a bye too, which will be really nice for them. But the reality is, I don't love them in this spot. Although it is a little homecoming for Alejado, right? Kid from Vegas there, which is awesome. So they do have a couple of those guys. I think Bishop Gorman, about 6 of them on their roster that are all from Vegas. So it'll be fun to see them obviously leaving the island. They've been a little different team, on the road this year. Obviously had some success too, but no doubt I do like UNLV. I think they run the ball. I think they control this clock. I think you keep Hawaii off the field. And if you're putting Hawaii in a position, at least defensively, where they have no idea what you can do running or throwing Calandria, even if you don't have Thomas, Dan Mullen schemes it up. They get enough done. It's probably more in a high-scoring game. And with that, I'll take the better rushing attack. So why not UNLV?